All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Monday night. We got Daniel back in the building coming off vacation. It would only be right if I asked him, Daniel, how was it?
It was good. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to take a vacation. Um,
I mean, only you
but
would suggest me to have AJ Causey on the show, then no show his episode.
I mean, see, what happened was I wasn't expecting it to be that quick of a turnaround, but either way, either
You know the
way.
Tennessee fans, if I do not give them what they want, it'll be anarchy.
But you know what? It ain't about Tennessee fans tonight. It's about
Oh
the
yeah, it's
901.
Memphis. It's some F. Rick Barnes type stuff around here tonight, huh?
That's right. No holds bar. Ain't got time for none of that orange right now.
Right. But I will say this, before I introduce our guest and get this episode, because you did miss last week, wasn't able to talk about it coming off the weekend in Fort Worth. But I messaged you the whole way through, sent you the videos. Shout out to our five guests from LSU Gymnastics who won a national championship. We have been following them, a lot of them, especially Kaya from freshman year. It's been an amazing journey, and so I didn't get to talk to you about it on air, but want everybody to hear it. Me and you been following it the whole way. We could not be more proud of those girls, so shout out to them. But with that, we got to get back to the diamond, and tonight we're going home. We're going to the M. Daunte, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here, man.
Absolutely, man. We're going to get into your story. We're going to talk about this past weekend. Obviously, wasn't the best for the team, but people noticed you in a good way. And so we're going to get in that, but we're going to break the ice.
Mm.
Right now, we got NBA playoffs going on. We got NHL playoffs going on. We got NFL draft along with college baseball. For you, is any of that like a big deal for you? Are you watching the NBA or NHL playoffs, or are you big in the NFL to where the draft had your attention?
Honestly, for as big of a sports guy as I am, surprisingly, I don't really keep up with any of those stuff for real. I don't know why, but I really don't keep up with it.
You're not odd for that in the sense of like
Yeah,
athletes don't necessarily. You would be surprised. For instance, MLB is going on right now. Me and Daniel have
hmm
interviewed 200 and what 20 baseball players. Probably
yeah,
200 of the college dudes said they don't even watch MLB and they aspire
yeah,
to be in the MLB. Make it make sense, Dante. But I
hmm
mean, it is what it is. You play sports so much, maybe you just kind of get burnt on it.
yeah. I mean, I feel like what I'm big on is watching the playoffs. Like whether it's basketball, baseball, football, I just like big games, watch big players make big plays. So I think that's when I really tune in.
Well, Daniel's all in on the NHL playoffs because Tampa is
Mhm.
there. I'm watching the NBA playoffs because I have put myself through, I don't know how many years we're talking about now. 16 years of excruciating pain of being a Russell Westbrook fan. And I'm just hoping he can get a championship before he gets out the door. So we're
Mhm.
putting ourselves through it. And then as far as draft, we're just like any other NFL fans, just hoping our team got it right. But I will ask, NBA, have you got to watch it at all? You said you watch playoffs. Is there anybody that you like root for if they, you just happen to see there on TV, like I watched that guy.
I would say Anthony Edwards. I don't really keep up with basketball, but every time I go on TikTok and stuff, I see edits of him, and I'm like, man, this is a good ball player. So I'd say I picked up. I mean, I became a fan of him recently.
Well, now that makes sense because you're a super
Yeah,
athletic guy, and that dude is the definition of athleticism.
yeah.
And so that would make sense. As far as NFL, you got a team that you root for?
No, it's not a certain team that I root for. Not really.
Got a player? Got that guy that you watch?
Mm.
As long as you
I
don't see
like
somebody from the Cowboys, like Daniel would say, we good.
no, I like Sauce Gardner. I like him. I like him.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
it. Didn't just give the typical name either. I love it. But
hmm
let's get into something I know you have to be about.
Yes,
Music.
sir.
If you could
Music.
go see any musician anywhere, who are you going to see? Where are you going to see them?
Any musician, I would have to go. I would have to go NBA YoungBoy. I had to go NBA YoungBoy in his hometown, Louisiana, somewhere
I heard that.
there.
You are
Yeah,
not gonna. Hey, look, let me tell you something, Dante. Me and
yeah.
Daniel will enjoy any answer that is not country. Country music is taking over our show. We don't even listen to it.
Yeah.
And so bring it on. And then hey, I'm all about Louisiana, so I'm down. Daniel,
hmm
would you be Dante's plus one if he'd welcome you?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
I could throw down. I'd channel my inner 2000s.
There
Not
you
a
Yeah,
go.
problem.
There you go. I heard. Hey, matter
yeah.
of fact, I heard some Hot Boys on the radio the other day. Made me think about back in the day.
Hmm.
All right. So one more question, then we'll get into your story. You just said you're not big into sports, but if you could go
Hmm.
see any team or any player and you could go see them anywhere, we're talking about worldwide too, like,
Hmm.
so you can bring the Olympics into this, you can bring anything. Like, who would you go see? Where would you go see them?
I would love to go watch LeBron James play. To go to a Lakers game, watch him play. Because I've been watching LeBron since I was a kid. So to see him in person would be amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, I've gotten to see him. I'm not a fan of his, but he's a sight that everybody needs to see in person. Maybe I take it for
Hmm.
granted because I've seen it,
Yeah.
double digit times, but he's special. And maybe I also have a bitter taste when it comes to Memphis. Daunte, I'm gonna be honest. He decided to sit out a game in Memphis when he was perfectly healthy. And they talked
Hmm.
about it locally. So many people, it was right around Christmas. Kids had gotten presents, to go see LeBron and everything. He just sat down. It left a sour taste in my mouth. I know it did, Daniel. If you were that kid, Dante, you'd been pissed, bro.
Yeah, I was there. I was there tough.
Make you change your mind on who you want to see, that's for sure. But Dante, man, inquiring minds want to know. They want to know about you.
Hmm.
So let's start from the beginning. Tell me a little bit about home. Where are you from, man?
Home for me, always gonna be the Bahamas. That's where I was raised. Spent the first 14 years of my life there. That's where I made a lot of my childhood friends. That's where I started playing baseball. Picked up other sports like basketball and track and field. I was there all the way until seventh, eighth grade, and then I moved over to the States in ninth grade.
You ain't never
That's when I
played
went
football
to
with
the
as
Woodlands,
big as you
Texas.
are?
Nah, football not big back home in the Bahamas. I never
Daniel, we
really
would have
picked it
had him
up.
lined up. You know it.
Yeah, you wouldn't have had a choice.
Yeah.
If you were friends with me in high school and you would have came over, you
Hmm.
wouldn't have had a choice.
As a matter of fact, Daniel, if he was
Yeah.
our age, that man's perfect for a tight end. He'd have took your spot.
Nah, man, he ain't that good. Come on now.
Ah,
No, I
I
think I
guess
could
he
have
had to
been.
be an
I could have
outside
been that
linebacker
good.
then.
Yeah, you've been all
Yeah.
right. You're athletic, man. So that's half the
Hmm.
battle when it comes to football, just being athletic. And plus you're big and strong, so that's the other half, man. You'd be just fine on the gridiron for sure. So tell
Yes,
me
sir.
about, obviously we've had a lot of guests come from, the Woodlands, very
Hmm.
prestigious,
Gotta say got to.
got to, man. It's
Yeah.
like
You
the
have to.
Ohio State, it's the Woodlands. But guests
Hmm.
like Kennedy Smith, Devin Fontenot, Peyton Harden, just to name a few. Um, you know, with that and that prestige, what is it about the Woodlands that attracted you? Was it something that you were just lucky enough that's where you moved and that's the school, or was that a like very conscious, decision that your family made that that's where you want to be, so we're going to move to this area so you can go there?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was mainly more of a conscious decision by my parents because they both came back over to the States for their education and they were looking for a good place where, they could continue to raise me and my little brother and also give us the best chance inside school, academics wise, and also the best chance athletically. So that was more of their decision. So on my part, I was just blessed to have parents that looked and really made sure that was a good area to go to.
Well, they, whether they knew it or not, that is prime time for athletics in general.
Yeah.
And obviously the academic part of that too is you know top notch, man. But tell me a little bit. You mentioned mom and dad, the family. Any brothers, any sisters?
Yeah, I have a little brother. He a freshman in college this year now.
Uh-oh. I feel like,
Yeah.
what was growing up like? A lot of fighting, a lot of
I don't
whoopings.
know. With my little bro.
Yeah.
You know how it is with siblings, man. We had our little disputes and stuff like that, our little arguments, our little fights and stuff. But at the end of the day, we loved each other. But it was always, I'm gonna say, it's always interesting, and I was
Yeah.
both of us because we both so competitive. So like little stuff, whether it's um competing on maybe he want to play basketball and I'm older than him, so I'm trying to make sure I beat him, discourage him a little bit, but he keep going. Whether it's that or I get this new video game and I'm playing it and he want to come along and he want to try to learn the game and beat me. That's more how our relationship
You
was.
don't realize
Always trying to one up.
how important those beatings you're giving him are. Me and Daniel, we talk to these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So many stars. Daniel, what? They're the younger sibling.
Yeah, I mean they had the tough love, and they really a lot of it I think too is when you're constantly competing at an age group above you, you almost
Mm-hmm.
99% of the time you rise up. So
Yeah,
for you, you're just making him, you're forcing him to rise up, man, being
yeah.
a better version of himself, man. I mean, some would say you're a hero, but I mean, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
obviously there's a ton of like really prowess within the family and a lot to live up to. I mean, just to
Mm-hmm.
name a few, you got your cousin Jazz Chisholm, Miami Marlins second baseman. You got a cousin Samson Colbrook, competed as a sprinter for the Bahamian 2020 Summer Olympics team. You have another cousin, Ray Minus Jr., who's a professional boxer, winning numerous titles.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like growing up in your family? Is there pressure to live up to expectations like that, or is it very just, you know what, Daunte, you just go out, be the best version of you, and whatever happens, happens, man.
Yeah, I feel like it's the second half you said of just going out there and giving it my best on what I pursue. I feel like my family, they do a pretty good job from like my intermediate family, like my parents and all that to my grandparents and all them. It's not really so much of what you do is more who you are. That's basically how I feel like I've always been judged. Like no matter how my game was or how school was going, stuff like that, they wanted to make sure that I was a good person because they felt like that's what mattered the most. And once I was doing that, I feel like I'm always making them proud. And my dad always tells me it's not the results that happen on the field that's gonna make me proud of me. It's you still continuing to be you, you still being able to work hard, show up, be a nice guy, help other people, you know what I mean, be a light around other people that he really is focused on. And all the other stuff I feel like he believes kind of comes as a byproduct of that. So for me, it's just basically trying to be the best person I could be.
Well, you need to coin and trademark that moniker because that's money. It's not what you do, it's who you are. Like that, like to me, when I hear an athlete, and to be quite honest, we've had a ton of athletes on here and none of them have given an answer like that when it comes to, us talking about expectations and pressure and just being, an athlete. You are looking
Hmm.
more towards, I have a perception, I have a last name to live up to, and nobody is going to care about what I do, but everyone is going to care about who I am. So like
Hmm.
that's big. So tip my hat to you because not a lot of people can think like that.
I shout out his
It's a
parents. It's usually the reciprocation of something like that is he was raised a good way.
Yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
thank you.
So with that, obviously, when you say, things like that, obviously there had to be some type of influence in your life. What was the biggest influence for you? I mean, obviously it could be anybody from, a family member to a pro athlete that you're trying to embody, but who was that biggest
Mm.
influence for you?
I feel like I would say it's both of my parents. I would say specifically my dad though, just because I get to watch him be a man, and that's who I want to be when I grow up. You know what I mean? Have my own family, my own kids and stuff. So I'd say just watching him show up every day. I know he's tired, especially when I was younger. Show up and still throw baseballs to me. Still help me field ground balls. Still maybe help me with my homework, give me life lessons and stuff like that. I say basically just watching him and see how he moves on a day-to-day basis and try to imitate that.
You know, I didn't realize the difficulty when it comes to putting in a day's work and then coming home and being present for your kids until I had
Hmm.
kids. And I mean, I guess that makes sense, but like I have to stop myself and on numerous nights when I'm tired and go, I don't have to do this with my daughter. I get to do this with my daughter, and I gotta
Yeah.
think in terms of that because it's not about me, it's about her. And those are things, obviously, when you mention it, like you remember those little things. And as she gets
Hmm.
older, those are going to be things that she remembers. So um, it's important. So, big time when you have influences like that growing up, obviously it's going to permeate throughout your life. And, it did, all through high school. I mean, even athletically, you were named honorable mention, perfect game, preseason All-American, to the preseason all Houston area team prior to your senior year. Um, when you think about accolades and things that you acquired in high school through different teams and different sports, does any of that matter, or was it just getting you to the next level?
I would say it definitely matters, for me, because specifically too at that time in high school, I feel like you still, because I think when I got those honors, a lot of those honors, I wasn't even committed yet. So to me, it was like, okay, I'm putting in the work, I'm grinding, I'm doing all the stuff that I'm supposed to do, and now I'm starting to get a little bit acknowledgement from it, and it kind of helped me be like, all this hard work is actually paying off or something. So I
So
would
who
say it was both. Uh,
I was just going to say, when you talk about acknowledgement, who were some of those schools that were starting to see you and start acknowledging those accolades?
Well, not the first school, but one of the earliest schools to reach out was the school that I ended up attending, Northwestern State in Louisiana. And Dartmouth was another school that reached out to me.
So what
Hmm.
was it then? Obviously, you mentioned you chose Northwestern State. Was it because it was
Hmm.
first and it was just fresh in your mind, or what was it about that school where you're like, that's the place for me?
So I went down on a visit with my dad and my little brother, check the school out and the campus out. And it was a smaller town. I wasn't used to such a small town like that, but it was a smaller town. And just talking to the coaches and just seeing like the type of environment they had set up, I looked at it and I was like, I feel like this is a place that I could really grow and develop and become a better player to try and take myself to the next level. I just felt like they had a sense of family since it was a smaller school that I was not as easy to get lost in the system.
And you picked a place where you felt like you could play, and you did.
Hmm.
You started all 16 games at second base as a true freshman, and then it's something we like to try to forget when it comes to sports, but I mean, the reality is it was real. You had COVID come through
Yeah.
and shorten the season. What do you think you learned most in just those short 16 game season?
In the short 16 game season, I think what I probably learned the most is that you have to show up every day because I remember towards the ending part of those 16 games, I wouldn't say I was in necessarily of a slump, but I wasn't hitting as good as like the first 10 games. You know what I mean? So that was the time where I was starting to try and work on stuff and just stay persistent with my work without letting it, without letting the failure in the game start to mess up what my routines was. So basically just trusting the routine that I already set at the beginning part of the season.
Yeah, no doubt. But I feel like you made a good choice. I felt like you had a good start. The question is, the second season you appear in 52 games, right? You don't have
Hmm.
16 games. You bat 270, 7 home runs, 30 RBIs. How do you feel about your progression, right? You didn't get a full season your freshman year, but from what you
Hmm.
did get to what you did sophomore year, did you feel like you made some good progression?
Oh yeah, feel like I definitely made good progressions. I learned different stuff about my swing, about the mentality and the approach I have to have to get better results. About the baseball smarts of the game, when to look for certain pitches, when to look at certain times to steal. I felt like my sophomore year was just a more refined version of what my freshman year would have been.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that most people may not know about you that I didn't know till researching you, man, and I find this fascinating. I want to know about it. You played for the West Virginia Black Bears of the MLB Draft League, helping the team win the league's first half championship. Talk about that experience and what you were able to learn from that and how you were able to grow from that.
Oh, that it was an amazing experience. I mean, I think that's probably one of the best experiences I've had in baseball, just learning from different coaches, being around different players. Because I felt like once you got to that league, it was basically everybody was a good player. Like everybody deserved to be there. Everyone belonged to be there. And just being around all these guys who were most likely one of the best or the best player on their team showed you that you had to find small little stuff to stand out from the crowd. You know what I mean? So just being able to work with these guys and see what the small stuff that they do to provide success on a nightly basis taught me a lot about myself and where I needed to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's all about. And I want to know somewhere along the way, because I haven't followed your whole journey, but when I watch you, people are going to talk about how powerful you are in your swing. But the thing that fascinates me is your glove and your athletic ability at second base. Is that something that you always had, or when did you really pick up taking that to the next level? Was it somewhere along the way in college?
Yeah, I feel like my glove, when I was a kid, I felt like my glove was better in my bat just from all the time seeing my dad him always hitting me ground balls and stuff. And when I got to college, they put me at second base and I got to work with a good defensive coach named Spencer Goodwin. He was my coach for the first 4 years of my college career. And he really hammered away, again, those defensive reps, working on my feet, working on getting the right hops, the arm action. And I basically just try to build off of that every year, just get a little bit better every year.
Yeah, I mean, because not to skip ahead, but there was a play this past weekend. I've already seen enough plays, but after seeing you make it, and you didn't even get to make the throw, you knocked it down. You shouldn't have been able to knock it down. No human was supposed to be able to knock it down. You did. Like I feel like until I see the ball get past you, Daunte, I don't know that a
Mm.
ball is gonna definitely get by you. Like I feel like you've got that kind of range. Do you kind of feel that same way when you're out there?
Yeah, I try to have that mentality that at any time the ball could be hit in any direction. And it's my job to try and get there and make a play so I can hopefully get my pitcher out. So I really try to take pride in that.
Yeah. And so, I'm gonna go ahead and skip to last year, started 55 games at the second base, ranked second on the team with 40 RBIs, tied for third with 7 home runs, ended with the stat that I want to talk about. Daniel, this is impressive. It's something big when they put it in there, and highlight it like this. You had 109 career walks, six most in school history. I have watched you bat, and you are very patient at the plate and you see the ball very well. We've talked about all these things you've acquired. Is that something that, coming into that season was something that, you just with the experience you got better and better? Talk about your ability, because not every guy can see the ball like you do.
Mhm. Well, my ability with the pitch selection and stuff like that, I feel like that year it was just basically like a refinement because my dad always was big on tracking the balls. He always told me in BP since I was a little kid. He said, if it's not a strike, don't swing at it. Even if we're just doing soft toss or you just doing a little BP, because he believed that that's how you pick up bad habits of swinging at balls. And I took that basically my whole career. I just felt like that year on top of the stuff that my dad already taught me, just being able to have a couple years of tracking college pitches and seeing the different shapes and movements and stuff allowed me to make better decisions.
So Daniel, I haven't even got to this year, haven't even got to this year in Memphis, but I tell you, this guy is athletic the way he is. I tell you, he's got the power he's got. I tell you, he's got the range defensively. And then I tell you, he's got patience at the plate. Tell me this guy doesn't have a pro career set ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, when you patience is really the biggest thing is forcing pitchers to throw multiple pitches, and you're a guy that's going to be patient. You're going to force them to throw what not their pitch but your pitch, because
Mm,
just pitchers are very very finicky when it comes to that. Me personally, being a pitcher, the last thing I wanted to do is face a guy that's going to force me to throw 7, 8, 9, 10 pitches to get him out or to end up walking him. And sometimes pitchers just give in and go, you know what, screw it, I'm not going to throw that many pitches, I'm just going to put you on base and see what happens.
yeah.
So, you obviously end up in Memphis. How does that come to be? Is there numerous options, phone calls that happen? How does this process go once you hit the portal?
Yeah, so my coach, my former coach at NSU, he had got a job opportunity in Southeastern Louisiana. So he had left our program, and around that time, I hit the portal just to see what's out
Coach
there.
Bobby was your coach.
Yes, sir. 4
I
years.
love that guy.
Yes, sir. So he hit the, I mean, not hit the portal. He went to Southeastern, and I hit the portal. And I had offers from different schools and stuff like that. But I was just trying to figure out what's a place where I could play higher level competition and also have a chance to be on the field and add contributions. And that's when Coach Pemberton, he hit me up, and he was basically saying that him and Skip, they already knew what type of player I was, and they felt like I would fit good into their program. And I already knew what type of coaching staff they were. So I just thought it would have been a good fit. I came down to Memphis.
Yeah, so you get here, man. Memphis is a unique culture within itself. We're from here, how have you
Hmm.
felt about your time here so far? Is it a city you've been able to enjoy, embrace? Because it's one of those things you have to embrace it to truly enjoy it.
Yeah. I've loved my experience in Memphis. Like it's different than what I'm used to. I got to meet a lot of people that I probably would never get to meet. I got to learn a lot of their culture, see a different way they say stuff, the different foods they eat, get to go downtown a little bit. I honestly can't complain. I loved it down here.
You opened up a door right there, Daniel. We got to know what's been your favorite spot that you've ate at.
My favorite spot, I would say probably Skybox.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Daniel, Skybox came after you left, but you'll know where it is. You know those windows my wife be painting every Christmas? That's
Yeah.
Skybox.
Oh, okay.
I get to eat there for free because she does the windows. So I love me some Skybox too. Um,
Yes, sir.
the question I got for you that we always like to ask Memphis athletes, we
Mhm.
are known for our barbecue. Like, have you had barbecue? And if so, what's been your favorite spot?
Crazy, I have not had barbecue down here.
Oh my goodness, Dante, what are
Yeah,
you
I know.
doing?
I
Man, I
know.
would have brought
I
you some this
know.
weekend if I'd have known that.
Yeah.
I
And it's
blame
crazy.
that on
My
you.
dad just
I
had
blame that
some.
on your teammates and your friends.
Man, what
They
Jacob
Yeah,
they're
I'm
not
Compton
looking
was
definitely
out
here
for
not.
you.
for unacceptable. Tell me you at least had some Chinook seeds from Jacob Compton.
No, sir.
Oh my Daniel, Jacob getting grilled, bro. Oh, all right. Well, let's focus back into baseball. I'm gonna lose it over this. 315 batting average this year, 5 home runs, 28 RBIs, top 10 in the nation in doubles. How much fun has it been being in this lineup? Because this lineup can flat out rate top to bottom. I love it. Like, I look at, the 4, 5, 6, right, with you, Pierre, and Compton. That could be anybody's, 2, 3, 4, but it shows how talented the lineup is because it's your 4, 5, 6. So just how much fun is it being right there in the cleanup position of this lineup?
Man, I'm having so much. I'm having a lot of fun. I can't lie. I get to come to the field every day. I get to hit with great hitters. Get to talk trash. Get to watch Pierre launch home runs into the trees. Awful somehow. I don't know how. I love it. I can't lie. And I
He
know too.
he had 3 to the warning track against Mississippi State. Told one of the fans he was talking to that he knew real well, I guess.
Uh,
He said, "I'm just tired today." Anyway, I was bothered. Man, you got 3 to the warning track. You couldn't get one with enough juice to get it over that wall.
yeah,
No,
boy, Pierre,
he had a
man.
streak where the first 5, I'm sure you saw it on Instagram. First
Mm,
5 games I came to this year, he had a home run, and I started to think we had some sort of thing, which was funny because Jacob Compton couldn't get a hit to save his life if I came, and that's who invited me.
mm,
It's like the person I came to see ain't getting it, but Pierre's getting it, which you were doing your thing throughout the whole thing. But
mm,
let's talk about Friday, man. And this is where I told you I got compliments about you. Trey Yesovich, he's the third projected pitcher off the board for Region. Absolutely
mm,
filthy. He's throwing 98 at you guys. His changeup, that slider going away. But you were the guy,
mm.
1 out left to break up the no-no. And he told me, and this is as good as compliment as you're going to get, Dante. He told me you'd already hit off him hard a couple times earlier in the game, but for foul balls. And he felt like if there was going to be a guy, you were the one. And he said he's so strong, which I just don't feel like there's a better compliment, man. How good did it feel, even in a loss, to be the guy to ruin somebody else's, big night?
Well, like I told you earlier, I'm really competitive. So, my mentality is I know he's a really good pitcher. You know what I mean? I know he's gonna have a really good future. But my mentality is just You got me out twice. I can't let you get me out 3 times. That's mainly what I was thinking at that time. I got to win this battle somehow.
Daniel, I asked you on the other side as a pitcher, talking about Trey, is it normal to be like that, to have the respect level for the guy who broke it up, or is he just giving me the professional thing, but really he's pissed and hates Daunte?
I mean, it depends on how it went down. I mean, if you make a bad pitch and he makes you pay, then you probably tip your hat and you go, all right, that's on me. But
This wasn't
if
no
you make
blue
a
hit either,
really good,
Daniel. This wasn't
if
no blue
you,
hit. He barreled the hell out of it.
uh, but I mean, well, I guess what I'm saying is if you throw a location and it's a good pitch and that's where you wanted it and you barrel, the guy barrels it up and gets a hit, you kind of tip your hat and go, all right, I threw what I wanted. I located where I wanted, right spot. You just put a good swing on it. What I couldn't live with as a pitcher is if I made a bad pitch and they made me pay, then that's on me. But I don't think there's any bad blood when it comes to breaking up a no no. I don't think that guy is looking at Daunte like, oh, screw you. You broke up my no. I think he's just like,
I don't
damn.
know. I was competitive enough. I would have.
Well, I mean, I could be
I'm
wrong
different
too.
though.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me ask you, Daunte, it was a tough weekend for the team, but, you
Mm-hmm.
had numerous plays. Like I said, you knocked down the one, you made the catch over by the bullpen, which was, I mean, the ECU fans that were in my area they tipped their cap, talk about what an amazing play you had on Sunday. It's labeled as 3 for 5. It's 4 for 5. Clearly your coach with the lead didn't want to throw out the old red flag, Daniel. I got the video. I sent it to him. He was safe, but he just called it, and there was 2 outs left in the game, and he didn't even challenge it. But I'd say 4 for 5 in my book, Daniel. But you were 4 for 5. Daunte had a great weekend defensively. Is there something positive to take from that, or is it just simply, what your team got, worked by a conference opponent, and it's back to the drawing board?
I feel like, you could take the positives from it, you could take the negatives from it. We've had times in the games where I say we did pretty good. I remember Friday night, Dave came out and he shoved in the first inning. Same thing with Caden, he shoved those first couple of innings. And, pitching was a point where we were kind of weak at early on in the season, so it's good to see them pitch good in those spots because we're going to need them later on in the season. And we had some good opportunities on offense where we got some hits and stuff. But like you said, there's also stuff to learn from. Like when we had bases loaded on Sunday and then we didn't get any runs in. So it's stuff like that where you gotta look at the good, but you also have to look at the bad. And I think it's just being able to combine both of those to paint a clear picture of what we need to do to give ourselves a better chance in the future.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at the stat, but you talked about Sunday, but Saturday, when y'all were still tied at 2-2, there was 3 different times because I know me and the guy next to me were talking about y'all had 2 men on and stranded them both. And
Mm-hmm.
well as I do, that's the difference in the game. And that game ended up started going lopsided their way. But if y'all connect on a few of those, it goes completely
Mm-hmm.
different. That's the way baseball is as a whole. But I think Saturday and Sunday, y'all really showed that y'all can play with those guys. As midway through the game, y'all were tied and y'all just kind of let it
Mm-hmm.
get away. Y'all didn't capitalize on some areas, but there's definitely some things to hang your hat on. But y'all have
Yeah.
Tulane, then UAB, then Wichita State. You got 3 series left. Finish up the year in the American Athletic Conference. All important. Can't take any of them lightly. What's the message from coach? What's the message from you veteran leaders? About how y'all got to finish strong. What's happened before now doesn't matter. It's not how you start; it's how you finish.
Mm-hmm. Right now, I think all of us, what we have in our head, is just trust the process. Keep doing what we're doing, keep going to practice, keep working hard, keep doing the little stuff, keep paying attention. When we're going over plays, just all the small stuff. Because like you don't really need to change anything. Just you need to refine the stuff that we were already working on and become professionals at that. Because that's what really is gonna matter.
Yeah, no doubt. I feel good based
Mm-hmm.
upon what I've seen from you guys and the 3 teams coming up. That y'all can get yourselves in a position for the American Athletic Conference tournament to where you can get yourself in a good spot. And then from there, it's up to y'all to decide if y'all are going to take care of business. But we'll be rooting for y'all, wishing y'all nothing but the best of luck. Before I let you play a game with Daniel, I got to talk with our audience about Survivor, so I'm gonna talk about it with you. We got 6 players left, Daunte. If you're not familiar, it's basically just like the real game of Survivor, but instead of getting voted out, based upon, people trying to get guys out, we have to do it in a way that can be constructed with baseball. So it's whoever's the worst statistically. And so each week we've had guys getting voted out. And we're down to our final 6. Charlie Condon, Christian Moore, and Chase Burns cannot leave this week. They have earned immunity for their accomplishments. So it comes down to Blake Burke, Dakota Jordan, and Luke Holman from LSU. So I'll ask you this question first. If you just had to pick, who's going home this week? I will say this, is even as an LSU fan, Luke Holman does have to go against Texas A&M, and pitchers have a harder time than hitters, right? Because they only got one shot at this. The 2 hitters, Dakota Jordan and Blake Burke.
Clearly, unless you're Chase Burns, it's very tough.
Yeah, Chase Burns been cruising this thing, but the hitters got a chance for redemption. Is it going to be clear cut? Is Luke Holman probably going home, or are you going to say that he absolutely goes out there and shoves at home against Texas A&M? What are you going to pick?
I'm about to go Luke. I can't lie. I'm about to go with him.
All right. So then the question is final 5, no immunity, no, straight up. Whoever has the worst week. And then when it gets to the final 3, there were 32 contestants when this started, all in off the bench guests. The other 29 will vote. So I'll ask you, if that's the case, if you get rid of Luke, you have Blake Burke, Christian Moore, Chase Burns, Charlie Condon, and Dakota Jordan. Who you picking to win it?
I'm about to go Charlie. I can't lie. He's been going crazy.
Ethan Petrie texted me, Daunte, and he goes, I don't even know why we're playing this game. He's like, Charlie got this on lock. I was like, man, that ain't the way to think. And then Ethan got, voted out the next week. But it does feel that way. Me and Daniel have talked about this. Once you get to 5 and there's no immunity, all Charlie's got to do is have that one bad week. And what he did coming into this doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So these next 2, once he gets to the final 3, we know his peers are going to vote for him to win. There's no doubt. But these next 2 weeks, he can't mess up.
Yeah, that's true.
Gotta be
before you play the game. Side topic: I text Bobby afterward because I didn't know you played for him. He said he absolutely loves you as a person and a player.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. All right, Daunte. It is time to play a little game that we play with all of our guests. It's called This or That. You down to play? All right. It's very simple. Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
It's very simple, man. I give you 2 options. All you got to do is choose one option or the other. Don't say both. Don't say neither. Just be decisive and go with your heart, man.
Okay.
All right, Jim, this or that. Who is it brought to you by?
All right, I got the shirt on tonight, Old Dominic. I got the bottle. Yes, it's open. Did I drink some? Maybe, maybe not. If I seem more fun this episode, you know why. But, Daniel, local product, Memphis Distillery, the best in the game. You get bourbon, vodka, gin. We decided to promote it this episode, not just because Daunte plays for Memphis, because he's actually over 21, unlike some of our guests. So we feel a little bit better about it.
Yeah, I mean, 150 years of tradition. They got, bourbon to vodka, whiskey to gin. I mean, you can go in for a tour. You can pick up your favorite bottle. You can even go and just hang out and chill and just enjoy the ambiance. We've had live shows from there. Pretty awesome, establishment, a great group of people. And to be honest, when you talk about 150 years of tradition, that's what you're looking for when you're looking for any spirit, not much less just, Old Dominic's, because you're looking for something that's been around a while, people who know what they're doing, people who are constantly, changing the game, but also they know what tastes good. They know what people want. And that's the biggest thing, when it comes to the cask strength or, just their regular, whiskey or bourbon, like it's all good. It all tastes phenomenal.
But I'll tell you this, Daniel,
palate for everybody.
Is I feel like we're cheating on our wife, like Chinook Cedary, 8 flavors, mild and wild. They're usually who this or that's brought to you by. And I'm going to get Daunte a box because I'm Jacob Compton's getting a text. He should have got one already. But he's getting one after that. The fact that Daunte ain't had none is unacceptable, Daniel.
Yep, that's the season is too far along for you not to have tried that.
But they are the
Um,
best in the game, just like the bourbon.
Yep. So a lot of good things.
Daniel, I challenge
A
you.
lot of good things.
Smokehouse barbecue seeds with some bourbon. Make it happen.
Bourbon batch seeds. Let's go.
Here we go.
Let's go. All right, Daunte, let's jump into this, man. First question out the gate. Would you rather grill out, have a nice little cookout, or would you rather just go out to eat?
I say grill out.
All right, what are we grilling? Traditional burgers, hot dogs, or you throwing a steak on there? You throwing some chicken? What you got?
Yeah, I want some steak.
There you go. I got you. All right, would you rather have a nice house or a nice car?
Nice house all day.
For real, man. Jim is a nice car guy, but let me have a nice house. Let me just I think I could just if
But
I had a
here's the
nice
thing.
house, I could just
Everybody
chill at
says they
home.
spend more time in their house, Daniel. I spend more time in my car, point blank, period.
Well, I mean, as long as it gets me from point A to point B, it's safe and reliable. Like, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. All right. Would you rather trip and fall or pass gas in public? So,
Pass gas in public, easy.
yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Man.
See,
No
he don't want to trip and fall just like me. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm not trying to fall.
They started looking at you, go, man, that dude's so athletic, and then all of a sudden you trip and fall. They start questioning everything about you, man.
Yeah.
Black uniforms or blue uniforms?
Black.
Yeah. So you may not know this, but it took a long time for the Memphis fan base to buy into anything black. Just because it's a lot of very like traditional based people and a lot of the boosters and the people, you always got something to say about
I'm
black
jealous.
uniforms.
LSU won't ever do it. Ever.
You know, yeah, I mean, they finally turned the corner and finally just did it. And now like every uniform that Memphis puts out, in my opinion, is awesome. Every combination.
I think the football, because they obviously have more kits than baseball, but when you add in the white and gray, I think their football's top 5 in the country.
For sure. And I don't know if this is a uniform hat, but the hat that you showed me.
Yeah, it is uniform hat. They wear it. I'm promised one. Daunte needs to make it happen. The dark blue on the light blue.
Oh, the baby blue.
Yeah, that hat right there that's
matter of
fine.
fact, if I get one, I'm not gonna, even though I'm a hat collector, Daunte, I don't know that I'd be able to keep it because Daniel likes that hat so much. I don't know that he wouldn't wear it every day of the rest of his life.
I would 100% wear that hat every single day of my life. You could bury me in that hat.
Jacob Compton,
that's how much I like
atone
that.
for your sins and get me that hat.
There you go. There you go. All right. Would you rather have a home run or a Sports Center top 10 web gem?
Gotta go to web gem.
Web gem.
Yeah.
What is the one play where you're like, man, if I make that play, like I'm feeling myself for sure? Is it up the middle, falling away, throw to first base, or is it like a diving, like catch in like no man's land where, first base, second base, and right field are converging on the ball, or what is it?
It would be a diving catch, like layout, full speed. No, that would be crazy. Yeah.
Talk to me about that play that I talked about where you laid out and I didn't think you were going to get a glove on it. You knocked it down. I thought you actually caught it. You were going to, were you going to throw it from the ground? Were you going to try to get up? What's the thought process if you actually do hang on to that ball?
Oh, yeah, I'm throwing that. It just, the runner, he was flying fast. So I looked up. I realized it didn't make any sense.
He started flying because he saw what you did, and he was like, damn, I got to go.
Yeah. Nah, he was flying. He took away my only play. I would have had to catch that perfectly, throw it from the knee, one hop, right to Shane, to stand chance. He was flying.
Would you rather listen to sports radio or a sports podcast?
Sports podcast.
Good answer. Good answer. I like it. No, I say that, but I think, when it comes to sports, like, some people are commuters and they're in the car. Like I spend a lot of time in the car and I prefer podcasts, but there are a lot of people out there that prefer sports radio. You know, I like to kind of fine tune my niche and find what I want to listen to as opposed to, you know, listening to the same thing kind of repeat over and over. But, you know, some people appreciate that and enjoy that. Would you rather wrestle a bear or wrestle a tiger?
Give me the tiger.
I think so.
Yeah, give me the
I
tiger.
just think like the mass of a bear would be
Yeah,
tough to overcome, and I think they're fast, like from like point A to point B. Like you know, you might could figure out a way to outdistance them and get them
yeah,
tired. But like if you're wrestling and you're in like close quarters, like I just don't see it, man.
yeah. They
You
I
know,
got
this
don't.
is a question that was retired, Daniel. You notice I brought it back because, like I told you, he's big. So I was curious because I think he's going to give them a run for their money.
Oh, for sure. Jump on
nah,
that tiger, ride it
I'm
like a
not giving either
horse.
one of them one for the money.
Ride it like a horse. I can see
For
it.
sure.
Let's do it.
All right. Who hits better bombs? You or Pierre?
Oh, me, by far,
Who hits
by
better
far.
bombs? You or Compton?
Me, I'm gonna go with me all
He
day.
just outright lied to you, man. Give me Pierre.
Nah,
I'm gonna
Dante
go
said
me
he's
all
gonna bet
day.
on himself all day.
I'm a little
I,
disappointed in Pierre after the Mississippi State game saying he ran out of juice when he should have had 3 bombs. But Pierre, like he even said it himself, talking about in the trees. Man, Pierre get a hold of one.
oh yeah,
But
yeah,
that's
got
what I was talking about, Daniel. The front three gets overshadowed. Sometimes all their front three hitters are awesome, but sometimes get overshadowed because their 4, 5, and 6 guys are the ones who are going to take it deep.
Hey, that's the coach putting in the lineup, man. Hey, he's saying, man, 1, 2, 3, get on base, so 4, 5, 6 can get a shot to put you across the
But
plate.
Dante, how much pride do you take when you see D1 post the numbers and see yourself on the doubles leaderboard? Is that something no big deal, or man, hey, you know that you're hitting the gaps?
No, I'd say it's a big deal because I know there's a lot of good college players out there. So to be among some of the top when it comes to that, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Would
Yeah.
you rather play Survivor or would you rather play Big Brother?
Survivor.
Yeah, it's more fun. You get to
Yeah.
explore. You get to be out, like the confines of a house, man. That I think
Hmm.
that would be tough.
But our current in off the bench guest that is playing right now, he's playing it poorly. He's down to the final 8, but
Ooh,
Q is Q
I
is
can't
wilding
wait
out.
to bring when this is all said and done and however it plays out. I can't wait to bring him back on and talk to him about this
Daniel,
because
I'm kind of scared. You're going to talk so bad to him about his gameplay. He's not going to talk to us anymore.
it's not no. I have a lot of questions about his gameplay because it is questionable. Now, if he ends up winning, then maybe there was a method to the madness. But
My question that Dante would have is how a guy who's so
Hmm.
athletically gifted, he played Ole Miss football and track, was a star. He keeps losing all these athletic competitions. I'm so disappointed. First one out twice.
I mean,
You're supposed That's supposed to be where you thrive, Daniel.
but it isn't on him entirely. They haven't had a singular immunity challenge yet. It's all been team based, and this past week, the end of the immunity challenge was singular, but you were with a team and you had to get yourself there. And his team didn't get themselves there. So, but we'll see what happens this week. I mean, if you watch the previews, there's an opportunity for him to turn this thing around, but he's
Dante
got to
would
be
have
willing to
drug
take
his
it.
team through there. I'm trying to tell you.
I, I know. I know. All right, Dante, last question, man. Would you
Hmm.
rather win $10 million cash or a national championship? And I'll put it to you this way. I got a briefcase. I fill it full of nice, crispy, bins, and I open it up right in front of you. I say, hey, man, it's $1 million or $10 million in this case. You can have this case, or how about this national championship? Which would you pick?
I had to go national championship. I gotta know what that's like.
Oh, come
I
on.
gotta know what that's like. 10 mil. The plan is to make money in the future anyway. You can only win national
He's
championship
been
once.
so mature with his answers this whole
Yeah.
time, Daniel. I thought for sure he'd be smart enough to know that money would change his life.
The Plans make money anyway. You can only win that national championship one time. You only got 4 or
Daniel,
5
show
years
him
in
your
your life.
ring. Show
I
him your
mean,
ring. Tell him he can have it for $100K right now.
for $100K, you can take this off my hands.
He actually said if I showed him 50,000 cash, he'd consider.
Yeah, like if you walked up to me today and was like, "Here's 50K," I'd be like, "All right, here you go, bet."
But we kid, Daunte, all jokes aside.
I mean, I got kids, man. I could change a lot of things.
Mhm.
But Daunte, man, we're gonna let you bounce. Anything you want to plug or promote before you go?
Nah, I don't got really much to say except 242 to the world. That means the
2
Bahamas.
4 2 to the world. I'll
Yes,
help you
sir.
out a little bit. Going over to Instagram at Daunte_James. If you want to see what the Memphis Tigers are up to, going over to Instagram at Memphis Baseball. You can see highlights, you can see scores, you can see rotations, you can see Daunte doing his thing all day long. Also, tune in this weekend. ESPN Plus. You're headed to Tulane. You got a set with them
Mhm.
Friday at 6:30, Saturday at 6:30, Sunday you got the matinee at 1. It's a big series. Big
Speaking
series
of
for you
Daniel,
guys.
didn't bring it up. I don't even know if Daunte knows this. The only reason I was even at y'all's game Saturday is by request. I was supposed to be at Ole Miss, Alabama. It was not on ESPN Plus. No one could see it. ECU or Memphis started
Mhm.
getting tagged like crazy on Twitter. I was like, I texted Daniel thinking, okay, man, I got to take this seriously. I'm gonna have like 1,000 people watching. Well, little did I know, I'd have 10,700 people watching a live stream.
Wow.
It shows how much people cared about that series, and so it's kind of crazy. I
Mhm.
got to do a little commentary, but yeah, Daunte, when you were killing the ball, it was on TV. Even Compton, who I said never performs in front of me. I tell Daniel all the time, I come see Compton, he hit that home run on Saturday in front of him.
Mhm.
Big time. So hey, we
Yes,
wish you
sir.
nothing but the best, healthy, happy rest of the season, successful.
Mhm.
Here's my plan. Conference tournament. You know where it's at?
Yes, sir.
Where is it?
Clearwater, Florida.
Clearwater, Florida. My
Mhm.
plan is to see whatever the opening round game is that you guys got. I'm trying to be
Where he
there.
lives.
I'm down here in
Yes,
Tampa.
sir.
Clearwater's just a hop, skip, and jump away, but that's the
And
plan.
you got Luke Ellis, Braden Sanders, Jacob Compton, Daunte.
Mhm.
Feel like I'm forgetting somebody. I'm gonna forget. Oh, Jonah. You got 5 in off the best guess. You got 5 reasons to go.
There you go. And
Mhm.
I need to get one of them hats.
Yes, sir.
Some
I'm
kind of
about to
way.
spit my drink out.
All right, Daunte, man. Have a good night, man. That is
Yes,
Don.
sir.
Yes, sir. Daunte, if you like hearing his story or you just like hearing us average Joes talk X's and O's, please like and share the podcast on Facebook. Retweet us on X. Listen and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. As always, comments, ratings, feedback, thumbs up, hearts, hugs, love. We'll take it all. And we'll see everybody next week. We got a different kind of show, man. Jim, we got Brad Duncan. He is the show creator. Duncan's Custom Kicks. You know, shoes are his thing. Jim, you can speak more because you're a shoe guy
I'll put
than
it to
I
you this
am.
way. Last year when LSU was in Omaha, Dylan Cruz, Paul Skeens, Tommy White, they were all flexing his cleats.
Man, that's what's up.
That's
So,
why we're having him on. I want to know, Daniel, how do you get that gig? I want to know.
we're gonna find out. So y'all stick around. Y'all see us in a couple days. We'll have that hot out the oven for y'all. This has been the End Off the Bench podcast. As always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We are out.